Welcome to Signal Post Daily, your human-curated AI-delivered tech and AI news briefing, episode 15 for Wednesday, November 5th, 2025.
John, happy Hump Day. Made it to the middle of the week.
We're almost there, Jess. Today we've got a nice mix, starting with messaging, moving into hardware, then AI video, finishing up with some real space stuff. It's gonna be a good one.
I like that progression. Okay, what's the first story?
WhatsApp just officially launched a native app for Apple Watch after a brief beta period. According to 9to5Mac, users can now read full message histories, send and receive voice messages, and get call notifications right on their wrist.
Wait, hold on. Full message histories on an Apple Watch? The screen is tiny. What's the actual benefit here? More about convenience than replacing your phone?
Exactly. You're in a meeting, you feel a buzz, and instead of pulling out your phone, you can glance at your watch and see the full context of the message. You get call notifications too, so you know who's trying to reach you without even taking your phone out.
But what about the other features? Voice messages on a tiny watch?
According to the report, you can record and send voice messages from your wrist. And here's the kicker. You can also send quick emoji reactions to messages you receive. They're even improving the media experience with clearer images and stickers.
I guess that's practical if you're on the go. Is there anything about privacy concerns?
Good question. Meta emphasizes that your messages and calls remain private with end-to-end encryption, even on Apple Watch. That's important to call out. The app requires watchOS 10 or later, and an Apple Watch Series 4 or later.
Fair enough. Moving on. What's next?
Apple's reportedly developing a low-cost MacBook for launch in the first half of 2026. According to Bloomberg reporting, this thing could be powered by an iPhone chip and cost significantly less than $1,000.
Whoa. Less than 1,000? Apple already has the MacBook Air at around 1,000. What price are we actually talking here?
Here's the thing. The reports are vague on specifics, but 9to5Mac says Apple plans to sell the new machine for well under $1,000 by using less advanced components.
But using an iPhone processor? I mean, can an A-series chip handle serious laptop workloads? That seems risky.
That's actually the strategy. For basic tasks, browsing, email, documents, light video editing, it's plenty powerful.
So they're competing in the Chromebook territory now?
That's exactly right. The report says Apple will use this to compete with cheaper Windows and Chromebook laptops. The device is codenamed J700 and is currently in active testing and early production.
I'm still skeptical. What about the display? Cheap screens usually feel terrible.
They're cutting corners there too. 9to5Mac reports the screen will be an LCD, not a Retina display, and it'll be the smallest of any current Mac, coming in at slightly below the 13.6-inch screen used in the MacBook Air.
So it's smaller, cheaper, less powerful. I mean, why not just get an iPad at that point?
That's actually how Mark Gurman from Bloomberg frames it, as an alternative to an iPad. But you get a real keyboard and trackpad, a proper operating system. It's Mac OS, not iPad OS.
Fair point. All right, AI video time?
Yeah, OpenAI just launched Sora, their AI video generation app, on Android. According to GSM Arena, it's now available in Canada, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, and the US.
Oh, this is massive. Android has way more global users than iOS, right?
By a huge margin. Android's got over 80% of global smartphone market share. So this is a genuinely significant expansion for Sora.
But wait, doesn't video generation require a ton of compute? Like, how is the server load looking?
That's exactly what I was thinking. GSM Arena reports the app can generate videos from text prompts and images, supports collaboration, offers multiple video styles, and includes community features.
Okay, but I'm asking about infrastructure. Are they actually ready for potentially billions of users instead of thousands?
That's a fair question. GSM Arena mentions that OpenAI also recently announced that users in select regions can now access Sora without an invite code, which sounds like they're really opening the floodgates.
So we're just hoping they've thought this through? Because when you make an app available to the entire global Android user base, the math changes real quick.
Right. They need Azure and AWS to be ready for the inference load. We'll probably see capacity issues pretty soon if they didn't plan properly.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet we hear about outages within the week. Next story?
All right, now we're getting to the weird stuff. Tech companies are seriously exploring building large-scale AI data centers in orbit. Google is leading this push with something called Project Suncatcher.
Project Suncatcher? That sounds like a code name from a spy movie, not data centers in space.
I know, right? But according to Data Economy, Google announced a research initiative to launch AI chips into space aboard solar-powered satellites to establish orbital data centers.
But hold on. The cost of launching anything into space is astronomical. How does that math work?
SpaceX has been bringing launch costs down dramatically with Falcon 9 and now Starship. And here's the thing. Data Economy reports that solar panels in space generate electricity almost continuously, achieving productivity levels 8 times higher than equivalent panels on the ground.
8 times higher? Okay, that's actually compelling. But communications between satellites, that has to be tough, right?
Exactly. Data Economy notes that tighter formations of satellites amplify collision probabilities, which necessitates robust collision avoidance systems and ongoing orbital debris monitoring.
So there's a lot of risk here. When would this even happen?
Google's planning a joint mission with Planet, an Earth observation company, to deploy prototype satellites by 2027. But Data Economy reports that launch costs won't really make sense economically until the mid-2030s.
So this is very theoretical still? Years away?
Very much so. This is research and development phase. Most people think this is more hype than reality, honestly.
Got it. Last story?
Donald Trump just renominated billionaire and private astronaut Jared Isaacman to be NASA administrator. This is dramatic because Trump pulled his nomination just 5 months ago.
Wait, 5 months? That's a crazy flip-flop. What happened?
Political drama, basically. Spaceflight Now reported that Trump originally announced Isaacman in December, but pulled the nomination in May after tensions with Elon Musk. Trump said at the time it was about a thorough review of prior associations.
So this is Musk drama? Like, they had a falling out?
Exactly. Bloomberg reported that the original withdrawal came after a spat between the president and Musk, who had been leading a White House effort to slash federal government spending.
But now he's back in. Why?
Trump posted on Truth Social that Isaacman's passion for space, astronaut experience, and dedication to pushing the boundaries of exploration make him ideally suited to lead NASA into a bold new era.
Okay, but who is this guy? Tell me more about Jared Isaacman.
This is the cool part. Isaacman is a billionaire who founded Shift4 Payments Company, but more importantly, he's flown on multiple SpaceX missions and was the first person to perform a spacewalk from a SpaceX Dragon capsule.
This was on Polaris Dawn, right? Sarah Gillis also took part in the spacewalk and became the youngest person to perform a spacewalk. So unlike most NASA administrators, Jared has actually been to space.
Right. According to the Orlando Sentinel, he's literally paid for and taken part in commercial space flights. Most NASA administrators have never left Earth.
That's kind of wild. But is having done something in space the same as managing a massive government agency?
Fair point. Different skill sets. But NBC News reports he would take over an agency facing proposed deep cuts to its science programs while racing to return humans to the moon ahead of China.
China? Is that a real competition?
Absolutely. NASA wants to land astronauts on the moon in 2027. China says it plans to land astronauts by 2030. It's a genuine new space race.
And Isaacman in charge? Would that help or hurt?
He's a big advocate for commercial space industry. According to IB Times, he's frustrated with NASA's economically inefficient legacy systems and spiraling project costs.
So he'd shake things up?
That's the idea. But here's the tension. He's close with Elon Musk, and SpaceX holds extensive NASA contracts, so there's a potential conflict of interest there.
That's going to be a confirmation issue, right?
Definitely. NBC News reports he'll need to address concerns over how he would balance his ties to SpaceX with NASA's work and Musk's competitors.
But hey, at least he's actually been to space. That's something.
It really is. All right, Jess, that's our Wednesday news wrap.
Thanks for walking us through all that, John.
That's what we're here for.
Hey, listeners, if you've got thoughts on any of these stories, we'd love to hear from you. Send your comments and questions to feedback@signalpostdaily.com. Let's keep this conversation going.
Absolutely, and while you're doom scrolling today, slide into our DMs and say hi. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube at Red Mesa Studios. We really do want to hear what you're thinking, whether you agree with us or think we're totally off base. That feedback helps us keep the show sharp.
Thanks for hanging with us on this Wednesday. We're halfway there and the weekend's calling.
Thank you, friends, for tuning in to Signal Post Daily. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories shaping the future of tech and AI.
Bye-bye.